I want to thank our hosts for this opportunity. Thank you so much for your generosity. I was walking on top of Namsan Mountain this morning since my flight had arrived last evening, and I was fairly jet-lagged, and thinking about our theme for tomorrow, which is resilience. And I was walking up this mountain, and for those of us not familiar with the city yet, it's this beautiful hill right in the middle of the city. And thinking about resilience, I saw this big city wall, and there was an explanation, a little board by the wall, talking about the wall. The wall has been around for 700 years, and it helped the city essentially be resilient. It protected the people inside the city. It kept those that threatened the city outside. It was first built in 1396 by the first king, Daejo, and then again refurbished, essentially, 200 years later. Initially, it was made of soft mud. The second reiteration had round stones. The third reiteration in the 1700s used these rectangular rocks that were about 40 by 40 centimeters. And then finally, you had slabs that went on top of it. And every dynasty had essentially tried to make the wall a little bit more resilient, the city a little bit more resilient. And 700 years later, there it was. The wall had served its purpose. In different ways and different designs, it was still there. But it's 2016, and the time to build walls has long gone. Resilience means something very different in our societies. This hill of Namsan is actually very welcoming now. If you walk around it, you will see people from all walks of life. I saw the elderly. They have outdoor gyms. You saw young people work out, even in this cold, with puffy jackets. You don't see that in the US. Working out. There were men, there were women. The mountain is landscaped beautifully. There are rivulets, there are rivers, and you can see photographs of it in the spring and the summer, where I bet it looks quite gorgeous. What was striking is the number of workers on that mountain, winterizing the mountain, preparing for the winter. There were about 50 to 60 workers just working with little bulbs to plant them, to prepare them to take roots in the winter. There were others that had put thatch on the grass, and then there were others that were putting thatch on the roots of the fruit trees. And it struck me then that resilience also meant preparing for long, dark days that would come ahead, and protecting the most vulnerable amongst us, the little fruit trees that are vulnerable, the little bulbs that will be vulnerable. And the faces of vulnerability in Asia is myriad. So tomorrow, as the Asia 21 group meets, I would like our rock stars and artists and musicians and dancers and lawyers and doctors and titans of industry to wonder how we can protect these most vulnerable as we talk about a resilient Asia. Because the vulnerable in Asia will be our aging population, our elderly stuck on the 17th floor when climate change brings about a typhoon and the lights go out. Our vulnerable is that little girl in Pakistan who just wants to go to school, or that little boy in Iraq who does not want his brother shot in the streets when they go out to play. Our vulnerable will be that Rohingya migrant who is pushed out of Burma, goes to Bangladesh, and wonders whether his boat will make it to Indonesia or Malaysia. I think this is the beauty of the Asia 21 network, because we are an interdisciplinary group that are committed to making a better world for ourselves and our children. Thank you.